recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
One of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Image by...
All right, hello everyone, Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, with that all being said, please get those likes up. You all know how it goes down on these YouTube streets. You all know how to be hating on the Queen, all right? Shadow banning and all that. Okay, so let's see who's in here. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. All right, hey, Reggie, Buckhurst, DC, Desmond, Darnell, my aunt Egypt, Cherokee Descendant Dale, Juju, Aboriginal woman. Juju said, low down, dirty scoundrels know what to do. That's right. JR is here, Edward, Stacy, Miss Evie, Deronda, all hell no, Jeff ATL. All right, I'm sorry for being late, you guys. You know how it is when you're gathering those receipts. Miss Peaches, Sarah, Khalid. All right, Root Trackers is here. Capricornus. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Alberta, Pearly, Nina's here, Purdy Naps, Emma's Blessed, Nessie X, did I say you? Darius, Queen Sam. All right, Bithia in the house. Shout out to all of my loyal royals. Y'all know I love me some royals. And shout out to everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's get this party started. Hey, Queen Shay, Andrea is here. OG Patrice, Dan. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, with that all being said, listen. I'm not going to be on the spiritual live today, on the spiritual channel, because I'm gathering some things to do for that channel. Later today, I'll be doing some things for that channel that I'll upload tomorrow. Second of all, I'm not going to be on the backup channel live, but I will be uploading some brief uploads on the backup channel at some point today. Hey, Priscilla, Mad Dog, Jax, the Bear, Dangerous. Okay, so let's get into it. And also, first of all, let me share with you some photos. I went to Tasha K's show last night, and I had a blast. I had a good time at Tasha K's show. Please pay attention. It was nice. So with that all being said, I should have brought that. Hold on. Yeah, I have to show y'all that later because I don't have time to edit the music out. Above all that drama in the house, Laverne. Okay. And so anyway, I actually took Terry Hartfield. I actually took some video footage, which I'll post on my other social media. I'm not going to put it on ScrewTube because I think it has audio, like music behind it. Okay. Prime One is in the house. The Queen always dressed like a royalty. Thank you, beloved. JB said unwinding with the winos. Okay. Hey, Carissa. Carissa said I was there, Queen. Did you see me, beloved? I didn't see you. Well, I wouldn't know if I did see you, I guess. Okay. So, hey, the lovely T. So I'm going to share some pictures real quick that I took at the show last night. And then we're going to get into these nefarious receipts. Please pay attention. Like stuff, everyone. Please go ahead and give this video a like and a share. All right. Please give this video a like and a share. Thank you in advance. Spit off ads. All right. That's me and the lovely Tasha K. Let me show one more. It was a full house, just so y'all know. It was a full house, okay? I'll show the other one later because I got to get to these receipts. I don't feel like digging through here for it. So everyone, please get the lights up and let's get into it. Now, I told you guys we were going to get started with the, more on the legal documents. So we're going to talk about that briefly. I'm not going to show it on the screen. I'm going to show you all that I have the documents again, but not going to really show all that on the screen because for one thing, those documents are old and they include lots of articles and the print is not very good. So I'm going to have to put on my spectacles when I get ready to go through them because some of that stuff is in fact hard to read. So I seriously doubt that you guys will be able to read much of it. Okay, I mean, it's almost 30 years old, so some of this stuff is almost 30 years old. But I want to also, wait a minute, hold on, I almost forgot. Before I get into that, let me say this, beloveds. We're first going to talk about Queen Latifah. Before we even get started, because I saw a video this weekend, I think it was Friday or Saturday, or this strong, shall I say, but I saw a video that really got under my skin. Okay, now I don't remember who made this video, but they were trying to imply that Tupac is LGBTQ or was LGBTQ. But that's a lie. Let's not forget that I knew Tupac in real life. Okay, Tupac was not LGBTQ, and there has been a nefarious agenda to depict him and label him as so. But that all being said, it's the same thing that they did with Malcolm. Okay, via Mark Lamont Hill. And I want you all to pay attention because these things, when they happen, do you notice that it's always one of our own people that they try to get to come out with this foolishness? It is always one of our own people that they try to get to paint these narratives. And, you know, in this case, it was Queen Latifah. Okay, because I have proof that she lied. I have proof that she lied. See, I came on here and told y'all she was lying when she first said it because I reported on it when it first came out. And, you know, y'all could believe me or not. But when I told you all that she was lying. But here's the thing. I have conclusive proof. All right? That's just lying. And we're going to get into it because what you're not going to do is sit up here and try to paint narratives about Tupac. Okay? That's what we're not going to do. And I was a little late this morning because I was also looking for this receipt by journalist Chuck Phillips, the one who's now deceased conveniently right after Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested. So anyway, I couldn't find it. I know I have it somewhere in my archives because I literally just had this receipt, this video footage. I literally just had it last week. And now, alas, I can't find it. I have too many receipts. I'm just going to have to carefully sift through them again because I want you all to see this. I think I may have it in written form in an article, but I wanted you all to see the video. All right. And here's another picture from the show, from Tasha K's show last night, by the way. All right. So the queen sitting on a throne. Please pay attention. So with that all being said, now let's get to it. Because, honey, it's all nefarious. Trust what I tell you. Right. Red said the Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. Absolutely. But, of course, DC said he's not LGBTQ. And not that there's anything wrong with being LGBTQ, but Tupac just wasn't. Okay? So since he wasn't, what we're not going to do is lie. All right? Because I'm going to debunk it. Period. All right? Red said so fly. Thank you. Queen Sam said, oh, Kerr. Oh, hell no, said, go ahead, thighs. Y'all are so nefarious. All right, Miss Amy said, Queen, you look gorgeous. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. Okay, so now let's get into it. But first, DC, please sit down somewhere. Thank you, Queen Shay, beloved. Now, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about Queen Latifah first. Now, let me pull up my receipt, honey, that's going to debunk her lies. Because she clearly lied, all right? And let's get into it. Now, we all know that in 2022, Queen Latifah came out saying that Tupac accompanied her to a gay club in San Francisco. So let's go to the footage of her, in fact, saying this. And then right thereafter, shortly thereafter, I will continue to debunk what she said with receipts. Let me get a pen so I can check this stuff off as I show it so I don't get confused about these receipts. Hold on. What video is this? Okay, here we go. Here it is right here.
Oh my God. Oh man, we were backstage somewhere, huh? Me and Tupac were pretty much label mates. I was signed to Tommy Boy Records. Digital Underground was signed to Tommy Boy Records. Initially, I took Tretch on the road as my roadie. Tretch, who went on to become the Naughty by Nature. And Tupac was pretty much a roadie with Digital. And he became a rapper in the group and made up the Humpty Dance. And they made the song, the Humpty Dance, which Tupac created the dance to. And it became a smash hit. We toured together. So we went all across the country. San Francisco doing a show. My first show over $10,000, which was a New Year's Eve show. at this cool gay club in San Francisco. I was like, yo, I'm here. He's like, yo, I'm gonna hook up with you. So Tupac came to the club with me and I was like, yo, come on, Tupac is in the building. They went crazy in there. I was like, they're gonna tear you out your clothes. Come here. He's like, man, he took his shirt off anyway. We had so much fun, you know, but that was like my brother, and he's the type of person I would like, if he loved you, if he was cool with you, he'd lay his life down for you. So I miss him and I love him. Good times.
Love that. All right, up next.
And we're probably high. Anyway.
All right. So she's lying. And I'm going to tell you why and how she's lying. I want y'all to pay attention. Walk with me, people, as I paint a picture. And then I'll show you the final receipt. Here's the thing. What she's in fact telling, beloveds, is a half-truth. What she's in fact telling is a half-truth. Now, I want you to pay attention. She said that Tupac went with her to a gay club. And she further, when she talked about it, she said how she told the people, or told him, they're going to rip your clothes off. And she said he took off his shirt and all of that, right? Hold on. Let me just pull this up real quick. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, that's not the one I want right there. Now, I'm going to tell you why she told a half-truth. Because she said that he accompanied her to a gay club. And the truth of the matter is, well, he did. The part she didn't tell you was that it was a gay lesbian club. There was no gay men there. It was a lesbian club, okay? I find it all so interesting, Queen Latifah. Why didn't you say that part, beloved ad? And also, please notice, yeah, she has told that story before. And like I said, she's telling a half-truth, and that's called lying by omission, okay? But she lied about something else in the story, too, so we're going to get to that in a second. Here's the thing. She said that he went to a gay club with her, and I want you to pay attention that she never said the name of the club. Why didn't she say the name? Well, because if she said the name, you would know that it is a club for lesbians, which are women. Which are women. So even if he was in a gay club with her, I mean, let's keep it real. They do have clubs specifically in San Francisco that are only for women that are gay. Okay? And then they have some that are for gay people, period. The one that Tupac went with her to was for women. Okay? I just want y'all to pay attention. Now, the first time she actually said that, see, the first time most of you heard it, the first time most of you heard her say that story was in 2022. But that's not the first time she said it. The first time she said it was in 2012. And she said something different. Almost the same, but a little bit different. Because you see, when people lie, their story tends to change. You see, you don't have to have a good memory when you're speaking the truth. Because no matter how you speak the truth, it's going to still be the same when you tell it again, if you're still telling the truth. And that's just how that goes. So let's get into it. Now let's go to the first report. Okay. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Because see, here's what's going on. There is an agenda, like I said, to depict historical black men as gay. They said the same thing about Malcolm, like I told you. Okay, and here's what it says right here. Hold on, I'm not going to read all this. I'm getting to a specific part. Now, she said we toured together, so we went all across the country. I was in San Francisco doing a show. It was my first show over $10,000, which was at a New Year's Eve show at this cool gay club in San Francisco. I was like, yo, I'm here. So Tupac came to the club with me, and I was like, yo, Pac is in the building. They went crazy in there. They like, take your clothes off, or take off your clothes. He took off his shirt. He took off his shirt anywhere. We had so much fun. But that was like my brother, and he's the type of person that if he loved you, he loved you. If he was cool with you, he'd lay down his life for you. I miss him and love him. Good times. And we were probably high, she says. Now let me show this on the screen. Because watch what she says in another one that she said previously, and watch how her story changes. Watch how it changes ever so slightly, but changes nonetheless. Okay? I'm sorry, wrong one. Hold on. Here we go. Now just watch how the story changes. And like I said, this is why she's lying. She lied by omission. And then in one instance, she flat out lied. Okay, can you all see that? This right here. All right, and so now, let me zoom in a little bit. Now, as you can see there, this part right here where it says they went crazy in there. They like, take off your clothes. He took his shirt off anywhere. We had so much fun. That's the part I want you to pay attention to. That's the part I want you to pay attention to. And then I'm going to show you the proof that it was a club for lesbians. Okay? All right, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. See, some of y'all think that was her first time coming out, was when she had that little Grammy speech. I'll show that in a second. But that wasn't it. That's what people were saying. But I'm like, she's been saying she was gay. I mean, Ben basically told her she went to the gay club. That was back in 2012. Okay, here we go. Now I want y'all to pay attention. What did she say? What did she say? She said, he'd take his shirt off anywhere. They like, take off your clothes. He'd take his shirt off anywhere. We had so much fun. That's what she said in 2022. But let's look at what she said in 2012. Because y'all know I stay with receipts. Y'all know anything pertaining to Tupac, I guarantee you, I know what's going on and what went down. Okay? Like I said, I knew Tupac in real life. Okay? And so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, here it is right here. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this with your own eyes. Because I don't want anyone to think that I'm painting narratives. Now, let me zoom in. I hope you all can see that. This is what she said in 2012. Now, listen close. She said, to me, doing a gay pride show is one of the most fun things. My first show that paid more than $10,000 was in a gay club on New Year's Eve in San Francisco. Tupac happened to be in town, so he came to kick it with me. This was the early 90s, and the boys, she said, that's a lie. It was a lesbian club. But here's the thing. She said, and the boys were like, take your shirt off. Now, first she said, they said, take your clothes off. But now she changed it to take your, or this is what she first said, take your shirt off. And remember, she said he'd take his shirt off anywhere in 2022. This is what she said in 2020 or 2012. She said, they said, take your shirt off, Tupac. He wasn't doing that. We had a blast in there. He wasn't doing that. Oh, he wasn't doing that, Queen Latifah, but I thought you said in 2022 that he'd take his shirt off anywhere. Y'all see the inconsistencies in the lies? Y'all see the inconsistencies and the lies? That's why I can't rock with Queen Latifah anymore. Because if you would do something like that to somebody who was your friend and held you down, but hold on, I want you all to see something else. I want you, isn't Queen Latifah part of that? Yes, of course she is. Here's for anybody who got questions as to whether or not she's a part of that community or not. Here's the receipt.
One, Ebony, my love. Rebel, my love. Peace. Happy Pride.
Yes, she's a part of it. Everybody should know that. Have you ever seen her with a man? Yes. But anyway, that's beside the point. But here's the thing. She is a liar who lies. Okay? Like Cat Williams says, I don't know why liars lie. I don't know who paid her to put out this whole narrative that Tupac is gay, because there is an agenda to depict him as such. And we all know there's a nefarious agenda because I showed you this years ago. Pride collection with Tupac's face on the back and the name of his song. Like, really? Get the F out of here. This is what they do. Okay? This is what they do. And why would y'all wait till he's dead? If Tupac was so gay, why did they say it when he was here? Let's just pay attention because, okay, I have more information, but I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, the picture that they always show when Queen Latifah was telling that lie, trying to imply that Tupac was around gay men with his shirt off. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. They only show part of the picture. And you wonder why they show part of the picture. Why is the other person that was in the picture cropped out? Please pay attention. Please pay attention. All right? I'm sorry, say what? Because they don't want you to know that her and Tupac went to a lesbian club. Not one with gay men. It was a lesbian club. And he didn't take his shirt off. Why is she lying? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because clearly she's trying to paint narratives. Okay? Clearly she's trying to paint narratives. Above all that drama said, Pac loves women only. Yes, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. They also have a video going around, and this is the video that I saw Friday that ticked me off. They're trying to say that Diddy has Tupac's skull tattooed on his chest, and they were lovers, and that's why they fell out. It was a lover's quarrel. I'm about to debunk that too, because y'all gonna stop playing with Tupac's name. That's what everybody gonna stop doing. They're gonna stop playing with Tupac's name. And so let me just pull that up with the foolishness. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. This is all nefarious. Hold on. Let me show this TikToker first who was telling lies.
For decades. I knew Tupac was gay when I was 8 years old. That mouth, I wanted to be just like him when I grew up. And y'all so easy to be fooled. That whole thug shit, that shit was an aesthetic. He tying that bandana around his head. That's the way his mama tied her bandana around her house, around her head when she was cleaning the house. Tupac was trade, okay? Realness. Butch queen. Pay attention to that mouth, okay? Gay boys have a slick mouth. It comes naturally. You are born with it. Straight boys do not have slick mouths. They have big mouths, but they do not have slick mouths. This is why gay boys can get you together before you can even think of your next thought. That nigga met Jada Pinkett at they went to a performing arts school. Y'all ain't never seen Glee, Fame, Rent, 525,600 minutes. Ain't no thugs, ain't no performing arts school, bitch. That nigga in that California Love video, Cali. Woo! I saw this when I was 8. Y'all probably don't even remember the first cut of California Love. I do, because I was 8, and I used to love Tupac. That was my nigga. The first cut of it says, out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. As soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing niggas screaming. They changed that to say hoochies later. But y'all don't even remember that. Tupac was always getting shot at. He was never the shooter because these niggas couldn't take his mouth. The whole reason why he got killed is because he was in some shit that had nothing to do with him. He wanted to be involved in that life because he was just a butch queen. Ain't got no kids.
Now he sounds so ridiculous, okay? He sounds so ridiculous. I have this receipt here, and I clearly forgot to upload it because, like I said, I'll be having so many receipts, I can't keep track. So I'm going to upload this in a second. But while I'm waiting for this to upload, I'm going to play another video. He sounds so stupid. He said Tupac was never the shooter. No, because he said, I'm a killer, but don't push me. Meaning he's not going around here killing people. Only if he has to defend himself or somebody else. That's the thing. Second of all, he literally said that he was not a thug. Okay, he said that. Thug life didn't mean that he was out here acting like a thug. It meant something totally different to him. And we'll get into that also. But hold on. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. All foolishness. People trying to paint nefarious narratives. And why? Excuse me. Why would they be doing all of this? Hold on. Now I'm going to go to this video of Suge Knight. Because here's the thing. If anybody wants to know, like I said, why Diddy and Tupac fell out, well, it's because Tupac knew that Diddy was zesty. And he was going to expose him. If they really want to know why Tupac stopped talking to him, well, I believe it was because Diddy wanted Tupac to participate in freak-offs. Okay? Please pay attention. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to play this video of Suge Knight talking about Pac knowing that Diddy was zesty. He doesn't say Diddy's name, but he says enough that you know exactly he's talking about Diddy.
People. Pac only attacked the people who wasn't right with the community. If it was a rapper that mess with guys and go both ways, Pac didn't feel that was good. So if you're a producer or you rap, regardless if you're married or not, and you got a boyfriend that works for you, a real boyfriend who used to be a dancer, Pac studied all the facts. Pac was real smart. So before he say something, he'd go and do his homework. He'd say, okay, this guy right here, they say he gay, he go both ways. I'm not gonna put it out there on him yet, but I'm gonna do my research, and if it's true, the world should know, because this.
Okay, and if it's true, the world should know. And y'all don't think Diddy knew that Pac had the scoop on him and was going to expose him? And I already showed you the video last week where I told you all why it's obvious to me that Diddy wanted Pac in those freak-offs. Another thing is Gene Deal, hold on. Gene Deal said something about, he said something about, hold on, I'm trying to get this video uploaded. I may just have to let you all hear the audio. I really wanted you all to see this. Hold on. Because they claim that tattoo on Diddy's chest, they allege that it's actually Tupac's skull. Let me see if I can send this to my email real quick. Hold on, beloveds. Now, while I'm trying to handle this, let me go to another video. And this is a video of Reggie Wright. Now, you all know who Reggie Wright is. Reggie Wright is talking about some stuff going on in the hip-hop community. And he also mentions about people, being an LGBTQ that are undercover and all of that. But he said a disrespectful word when he said this. So I bleeped the word out. But I'm going to play this video.
With Murder Rap, with Greg Caden's movie and book or whatever, if Puffy was as innocent as he claims to be in that whole situation, could he technically sue Greg? And if so, why do you think he hasn't?
Well, I'll play devil's advocate on that. Well, Greg will fall up under, this is what we was informed by Keefy D. An informant or alleged witness and all of that. But yeah, that's a good point. Why hasn't he? Because he sure threatened to sue LA Times and Chuck Phillips when that information came out about Jimmy Henchman and all of that, where it cost Chuck, who was a award-winning journalist and the LA Times, to go into hiding pretty much after writing the story that he did, where he found out he had some bad information. He had an informant, for those of y'all don't know, a fool that he was listening to that did some fake documents and put it out, and Chuck took that information and ran with it. And it turned out that the informant made up the documents and gave him some bad information. And Chuck didn't do his due diligence. Just like Greg Cadians always get the bad rap as being a dirty cop because he, one, pulled a gun on a kid when he raided a house for a wanted person, and two, because he told, which, mess up your credibility in court, but trust me, it happens all the time. He told an informant, promised an informant something, just like all these boys getting promised stuff. Then y'all hear on this, on a YSL, that crew, where the defense attorney was saying, I'm texting the DA now to make sure our deal is right, and we're trying to agree upon the deal. Well, that goes on a lot with snitches, when you got somebody that's snitching, as Keefy did. And this guy obviously doing against them. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Why hasn't he sued Chuck Phillips? Some will say because it ain't enough steam. I didn't get arrested. Outside out of mind and all of that. But trust me, people like Gene Deal and all of them would expose the hell out of Puffy if he did that. Because he always trying to deny even knowing Keefy and them, where audio conversations with Keefy being wired for sound, it's obvious that he knew Von Zip, and they talked about Puffy and stuff. And not only that, Big Gene always saying how they used to talk. I've been on a conversation on a three-way call where I connected Gene and Puffy together, and they were having conversations about shooting dice. You know, the guys in the crew shooting dice, and how most of those dudes that was in that crew was so. Oh yeah, I still got that audio, Keefe and Gene.
You on accident you said you connected Puffy and Gene. I just wanted to make that clear.
I meant to say, if I said Puffy and Gene, I meant Keefe and Gene. You know, I've been on three-way conversations between them. But my point is, Puffy and that crew knew Keefe D. And so Puffy doesn't want that to come out as well, because he knows people would confirm that he was around them, and Keefe couldn't, because that's all he could be saying is he lying? Now, if Keefe D ever said, and he wasn't on tape saying these things to Greg Kadings, and he all of a sudden do as he does, so, oh, I didn't say that, oh, that ain't what it said, that if it wasn't on tape recorder, and then Puffy will have a claim against Greg Kadings and the LAPD. But cops get told stuff all the time. And you just tell them what you was investigated. Most things that not eyewitnessed by a cop is usually done, or they get arrested by what? People snitching and talking, running their mouths too much, or two, and more importantly, informants. Cops ain't always there when shit happens. Very few times is we make what we call observational arrests. Most of your arrests is done by what we call report cards. You got radio calls and you got observational arrests. And you very rarely have what you call observational arrest. Now, observational arrest is usually when you observe something and then it happens, it goes down. A report or radio arrest is usually done when somebody call you and they come and then they start the investigation to make an arrest. And so, yeah, he would have a hard time suing Puffy. I mean, Greg Kadings or the LAPD, because they just going based on what Keefe said. But in fairness, just because Keefe said it, where a lot of y'all get confused that y'all think why Puffy haven't been arrested. Because just because a stupid mother say something is not enough to get you arrested alone. But that stupid mother say something and you get something else to sustain that, then it can be used against you and it can help with the arrest. And that would come up if something else came up, like finding a check, finding some money, Zip had a taped conversation of him and Puff talking that surfaced to the surface. You know, something like that happened.
All right. So that all being said, at the end of the day, Diddy tried to act like he didn't know Zip or Keefe D. Davis, apparently. I believe he tried to act as though he didn't know Zip either, but he definitely tried to act like he didn't know Keefe D. Davis. And Vlad, I want you all to pay attention to Vlad TV, who I clearly think is working for the feds. A lot of us think that and have good reason to. Now, he did an interview with TJ Kirkland and was basically trying to press him for information, which TJ Kirkland gave it up to him voluntarily, as far as I'm concerned. But hold on, I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, I'm going to play that audio, but I'm not going to play the video. Another thing is, I told you all last week that Diddy was also, in my opinion, teaching his son, specifically Justin, to be just like him. And by that, I mean, engaging in all these same types of nefarious acts. That's one thing. But also getting him to taste the rainbow. That's just what I believe. And the reason I believe that is because of what I'm about to show you in just a second. Hold on, honey. Like I said, these receipts, I have so many, I can't keep track. And I'm not even joking. We're going to have to do a part 3 to this likely. All right? And so here we go. Look at this. I'm sorry. What? Y'all see that? That's Justin Combs. That's Justin Combs. So why? Now, in that picture, Justin Combs was supposedly at a Halloween party. And if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to be the Joker, which his father was a couple of years later, I believe. But here's the thing. That didn't look like the Joker is all I'm saying. That didn't look like no darn Joker. All right? I'm sorry. RG Tight said Lucky Charms. Reggie said, have heard Justin is the son of Diddy's former bodyguard, allegedly. Yes, I've heard that too. His former bodyguard, Wolf, the one who conveniently lost his life. Okay, yeah. The one who lost his life at the hands of Big Meech in a nightclub brawl. I told you all about that a couple of years ago. I'll have to revisit that at some point. But here's the video that I saw over the weekend that I want you all to see. Please pay attention.
Why would Diddy get a tattoo of Tupac's skull over his heart?
All the people in the industry know at one time, Pac and Puff was like this.
But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, it seemed like to me.
Whatever they may have done, and you gotta remember, they was all swingers. It came to the point where him and Pac wasn't cool no more at all.
Here's Combs and Tupac at Sean Combs' birthday party. This is the last time the two would be seen in public together. Something happened between them that night that ended their relationship. Did Tupac break up with Diddy on Diddy's birthday? Well, less than a month later, Tupac would be shot by Puffy's associate. Insiders have speculated that the East Coast, West Coast rivalry was a lover's quarrel gone awry. This tattoo over Diddy's heart confirms exactly that.
That tattoo over his heart doesn't confirm shites, okay? That's a skull tattoo. How many people have skull tattoos? I'm sorry, and how do they know that's Tupac's skull? This is all so crazy and clearly lies and narratives being pushed. Like I told you, there is an agenda. And by the way, that was AI talking. Okay, so here's the thing. Reggie said it was a Versace shirt for me. Diddy was copying Pac style. Yes, he was. But here is the thing. The real reason they fell out is because Tupac knew that Diddy was Zesty, allegedly. Okay, and was going to expose him. You all heard the video with Suge said. That's not the only time someone said that. I just haven't gotten all these receipts together. But here's the thing. Pay attention to how Suge never said Diddy's name when he said Pac knew that certain people in the industry were gay and he was going to get his information before he exposed them to the public. Well, he got the information. Okay. The thing of it is, when Suge said, this person's a producer and a rapper or something like that, and he said this person has a boyfriend who used to be a dancer. Who's that? Who is that? Diddy used to be a dancer? Diddy used to be a dancer, right? I'm sorry, Prime said Queen got the paperwork. Yes, I absolutely do. So with that all being said, and then Pac gets shot at Quad Studios a month later. Why? Because he knew, now this is alleged, that Diddy was Zesty. And why? Because Diddy hit on him. Diddy hit on him. And when Gene is saying, Gene Deal is saying they were all swingers, well, they weren't swingers. That's the wrong term to use. Because swingers is people who are married and they and their spouse engage in acts of, you know what kind of acts I'm talking about, with other couples. That's called a swinger. Tupac wasn't married, so he wasn't a swinger. What you could say is that they were having these parties, like how they talked about Diddy and what's his name, Aaron Hall, and all of them having these women
together. Maybe they were doing that. Everybody just messing around with these women. Who knows? Running trains. Who knows? But at the end of the day, they were not swingers, and they were not having relations together. And then when Keefe D. Davis says that they seem more like a couple. Now, why would he say that? They seem like a couple. Well, if people are close, that doesn't mean they're acting like a couple. At the end of the day, the bottom line is Tupac was close with Diddy. He was even going to sign to Bad Boy, which I've already shown you the receipts. And then something happened to where he didn't sign with Bad Boy. Okay? And the reason for the shooting at the Quad Studios is in part because Tupac didn't want to sign with them. All right? And then I believe it was because of those freak-offs that Diddy wanted Pac to get in. Diddy wanted Pac. That's what it was. There was no relationship. Please sit down somewhere. Yeah, Aboriginal woman said they were having orgies. Exactly. That's likely what it was. That's likely what it was, allegedly. I mean, let's not forget they were in their early 20s. Now, who didn't do wild stuff like that? Specifically, men were doing all kinds of stuff in the 90s and in their 20s. And some of y'all still do. So that's likely what that was, honey. But they could sit down somewhere and try to act like Pac was out here being gay. No, he wasn't. Like he had a relationship going on with Diddy. And that just really ticked me off. Talk about a lover's quarrel. Please sit down somewhere with that. Okay? Puff didn't want to get exposed. And let's not forget how years later, anyone who threatened to expose him conveniently turned up deceased. I'm not saying that he had anything to do with it, but I find it all suspicious. That's all I'm saying. And then after Tupac and Diddy fall out, after being at that birthday party, because think about it. Yeah, he was at Diddy's birthday party. Why did they fall out? And why did Suge say that Tupac knew that certain people were gay and he was waiting to get the rest of the information to expose them? Because Diddy was, okay? And still is, allegedly. Nandy says Diddy may have been assigned to turn the God ungodly. Exactly, beloved. Rex said Diddy was checking into high-priced hotels holding FOs allegedly. Exactly. Not holding FOs. Rich said Erica Kennedy. Yes, thank you. Okay. Prime One said, I can tell a dainty male. Exactly. Rich said Kim Porter. Yes. Let's look at a picture again of some of the people who met their demise after crossing paths with Diddy. That's just a few. That is just a few. So I just had to clear the air on that because they need to sit down somewhere. Try to paint these narratives about Tupac, honey. I don't know who put them up to it at the end of the day, but somebody clearly did. Now let's get into these receipts. I'm going first to the legal docs. Okay, going first to the legal docs. We're going to pick up where we left off. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to share my screen real quick, but like I said, I'm not going to keep it on the share because some of this stuff, as I told you, is a little bit hard to read. Okay, so everyone, please get those lights up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, as you all can see that, it says Tupac and the Fall on the Road to Calvary. Now, remember, some of this stuff in here is from articles that were written about Tupac. And remember how I told you earlier when I spoke about this one last week, when they were trying to say that Tupac was such a gangster, thug, and all of this, and saying that he was acting like he was a detriment to the community because of things he spoke about in his rap, when they know darn well that that's what they want our people to speak about in their rap. And when I'm done going over these documents, I'm going to let you hear the proof on that as well. Okay? So let's get into it. Because today I came with all the receipts. Let me put on my spectacles. Okay, now, of course, that's not the only comparison. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a part. So basically, they were comparing Tupac to people like John Lennon and Elvis. And the reason they were doing so is because they were saying the greats who died before their time and all of that. And as we know, John Lennon was also assassinated. So, and some people who don't look like us got mad and said, how dare they compare Tupac to John Lennon and Elvis? Now, they say, of course, that's not the only comparison or even necessarily the most important one that could be made between Tupac and the great rock rebels. Fools are reluctant to admit Tupac to full equality in this matter. Now, because that would mean admitting other things. For instance, that Tupac equaled the greats in the emotional intensity and rhythmic power of his records, or that the majority of Tupac's songs were in fact uplifting, positive, respectful of women, and concerned with encouraging young black men not to commit crime, which he generally portrayed as a foolish and ugly thing, even when it's seductive or unavoidable. Now, it would require admitting that Tupac was sent to prison for a crime that white rock stars have committed and continue to commit with absolute impunity. It would require acknowledging that although Tupac did not shoot two men, acknowledging the fact that even though Tupac did once shoot two men, it was in self-defense. They were off-duty Georgia cops who had drawn down on him in the after midnight streets of Atlanta. It would require recognizing that Tupac is not the only rock star with unsavory associates. Now, let me stop right there for a second and say this. Let me say this. See, this article was disputing the narrative that was being painted about Tupac, like he was just full of violence, like he was such a detriment. The reason people would want Tupac gone, why do y'all think the FBI was following Tupac? Allegedly. Why do you think they allegedly were gathering intel on him? Because he came from the Black Panthers. Okay, his mother was a very famous Black Panther. She was one of the Black Panther 21. She fought the case in court with no attorney, defended herself, and won. Tupac was born while his mother was in prison, in jail. So with that all being said, he had it in his bloodline, and they knew it. He had a revolutionary spirit. And so they wanted to demean him even after his death by saying these things about he was LGBTQ and all of these things. But back then, when all of this stuff was going on, they were trying to paint him as a whole villain. And many people wanted him dead. Not just haters like Diddy. But wouldn't it be safe to assume that, more likely than not, there was some law enforcement and likely some agents who wouldn't want him here. Maybe that's why his case has never been solved. Now, this is all alleged and speculation, but that's what I think. That's what I think at the end of the day. And Tupac was positive. He was motivational. And he did say positive things about women. Keep your head up. And he did speak against violence. He said he was not a thug. That most of the times when he spoke about violence, he was speaking about the realistic things that happen in our community. He was also talking about how the government basically sets us up for failure. That's what he was talking about. He spoke about reality. They tried to, one time there was an interview, which I'd like to show tomorrow, where a woman tried to depict, Tupac as being someone who talked about violence against police. He said, I never said that. He said, basically, he was talking about defending ourselves at the end of the day. And so this is how they tried to depict him and to make it, so that he wouldn't be viewed as someone that our people would look up to. They were trying to turn us against him, acting like he's bringing us down himself and all of that. But let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, refusing to allow Pac to enter the list, excuse me, let me say one more thing. I almost forgot. And you all do know that Tupac was never convicted of grape without the G, right? How many of you know that? Do you all know that? Tupac was never convicted of grape. Okay? He was never convicted of grape. But that's the story they put out. That's the narrative they pushed. He shouldn't have been convicted at all. The whole thing was bogus. And it was a setup at the end of the day. Was Diddy behind that too? Well, I think he was. I think he was. Because wasn't Diddy friends with the person who, in fact, set the whole thing up and introduced Pac to the woman who would later accuse him? I think Diddy was behind all of this. But at the end of the day, he was never accused of grape. It was forcible groping. Okay? Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, it says the S abuse charges. Pac served 8 months in prison on S abuse charges, but was released pending the appeal on his conviction. Hold on. I want them to put, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Now listen to this. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I'm already sharing the screen. Hold on. I'm just going to tell y'all what it says. Okay, this is from the trial. 1994 to 1995. Defendants Tupac Shakur and Charles Fuller. Crimes charged: sexual abuse, sodomy, and illegal possession of a firearm. Now, in this article, they say, to many, the great trial of Tupac Shakur was proof that gangster rap promoted violence and that it demeans women. Okay, I'm going to say this because we're going to get into this. Because, first of all, it was not great that he was charged with. Okay, hold on. Let me send this to my email. Now, you all heard the charges. It says, let me read the charges again. It says sexual abuse, sodomy, and illegal possession of a firearm. That's what it says. But hold on. It was something more specific. No, those were the charges. What was he convicted of? Hold on, beloveds. Give me just a second. And I'm going to get into what the woman who made those allegations said also. I have those receipts too. The bottom line is all of the headlines during the time, I'm not going to sit here and keep looking for it. But at the end of the day, I have to find it later. But at the end of the day, all of the headlines during that time basically were alleging that he was convicted of rape, and that wasn't the case. It was something about groping this woman or whatever. Okay? And here's the thing. Like they said in that article, how many white rock stars have been accused of that? And didn't Trump himself say grab him by the you know what? Well, did they send him to jail? No. And it was lies anyway. That's the thing. It was all lies anyway. But let me continue. So it goes on to say, but refusing to allow Tupac to enter the list of rock's fallen greats is the least of the sins fools make when talking about them. These fools, who include just about every writer I've read on the subject, spend all their time avoiding a simple truth. Tupac was not a murderer. He got murdered. He was not the criminal this time. He was the victim of a shooting. But of course, if you tell the story that way, you can't come out and say, as the media from Newsweek to the Village Voice have done, that this thuggish young ninja got what's coming to him. Yeah, that's what they want to say. That's why they try to depict him as such the villain, so that nobody cares, has sympathy or empathy for the fact that he lost his life and that he in fact was a victim. They want to say, oh, he shot 2 cops. They don't tell why he shot 2 cops. They don't tell the whole story. They paint narratives. And that's what people tend to do when they lie by omission, which is exactly what Queen Latifah did when she told that story about them going to that club. Now, on that basis, so did Jesus, who preferred the company of whores, thieves, tax cheats from the government and all that, and other miscreants. So, not that Tupac was anything like Jesus, but those Bible stories exist to try to teach us not about Jesus so much as about forgiveness and compassion. What cases like Tupac prove over and over again is that we live in a time and a place where the concept of forgiveness does not exist. Our society even isn't about forgiveness. It's about vengeance, which is tempting to say it's one reason it turns out so much art like Tupac's and so little like Raphael's. But that wouldn't be terribly an accurate thing to say either. In the first place, Raphael's society is our society. The hideous American cultural landscape of today grew straight up out of the culture that produced the Renaissance and the colonialism that brought Tupac's ancestors and my own to America. And while it may be true that Raphael's world valued harmony and order far more than ours, that's mostly true of its artistic productions. for most people who had no access to art at all. The Renaissance the Renaissance world was a miserably impoverished and dangerous place to dwell. Okay, so now I'm going to skip down a bit. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this is where it talks about Diddy denying that he was feuding with Death Row. Such a liar. Bad Boys Combs denies feuding with Death Row. Sean Puffy Combs wants to clear the air between his bad boy entertainment leaders of the East-West Coast School of Rap and the West Coast Death Row Records. He says, I think people have a misconception that first of all, we were in a feud. He says, I don't think you can be in a feud with somebody if there's not two people arguing. I mean, I've never had a problem with Tupac or a problem with Suge Knight or a problem with Death Row or a problem with anybody in the industry for that matter. Now, y'all hear these lies? Do you all hear these lies that Diddy is telling? This is all crazy. Excuse me, all crazy. Just sitting up here lying. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. But let me continue. Goes on to say, the only thing I've heard is the records that you've heard. I've never been approached on any other level besides that. So it was more hype than anything. Combs is branching out in a big way. He has just signed a lucrative joint venture with Atlantic Records. He's opening his own restaurant in Manhattan, Justin's, devoted to soul and Caribbean food. And his debut album as an artist is due out in January. With contributions from most of his bad boy roster. Reflecting on his fortunes, Combs agrees that some gangster rap, particularly that made by imitators of the original stylist, is passing from the scene. He says, I think there are different types of hardcore rap or gangster rap. There are the things that are real, affecting people's lives, and then people that are just saying anything that sounds hardcore or sounds dark and dismal. I think some of those things may be on their way out. So he tried to act as though there was no problem, which is all BS because that's the same thing he said about Hit 'Em Up. Now, he first started saying, when I showed you all that video, he started saying that he took it, he felt some type of way. And then he says, oh, I didn't feel any type of way about Hit 'Em Up. I laughed because, I saw the humor in it, and I saw how they depicted me in the video and I just saw the humor in it. But before that, he said that anytime they went to a club and they were playing Hit 'Em Up, the DJ played it, they would take his turntables, not knock them over, not tell him to stop playing it. They would literally take his turntables. So how are you going to say you did all of that, but you were unbothered? So Diddy's just a liar who lies. That's what he is. That's what he is. Now, after this, we're going to get on to the other receipts. Okay, the agreement. Now, this is where they're talking about Tupac's deal with Death Row. They say that Tupac wasn't properly informed before signing the contract with Suge, because they say that Suge's attorney is the same attorney that looked over Tupac's signing of the contract and who, in fact, informed Tupac of what to do and all of that. And basically, that was a conflict of interest. The agreement, which grants Death Row the right to release as many as 4 albums, spells out a series of advance payments promised to Shakur, many of which Fishbane alleges the rapper never received. Fishbane also complains that Shakur did not have proper representation when he signed the agreement. According to Fishbane, the rapper appears to have been represented by Kenner, who also was the attorney for Suge Knight and Death Row at the time. Fishbane accuses Kenner of having a conflict of interest when he drafted the contract and gave advice to Shakur about signing it. Kenner, who was fired by Shakur about 3 weeks before the rapper died, denied any conflict of interest, insisting that Shakur was represented at the time by attorney Charles Ogletree. Ogletree could not be reached for comment. It's unclear whether Shakur's mother would seek to have the handwritten contract disavowed, but Fishbein said Death Row has yet to provide the necessary books that would allow the estate to conduct an independent audit. Well, to me, that sounds basically like Suge trying to get out of paying the money to Tupac's estate after Tupac's demise. That's what that sounds like to me. Hold on. Let me get this overlay off the screen. That's what that sounds like to me. Okay? And so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I want you to pay attention to how they were saying, as I told you on last week, how they were talking about how Tupac was saying things that were detrimental in all of this and talking about violence and, you know, talking bad about women and all that stuff, saying this is things they didn't need in rap. That's all lies and BS, because listen to this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
So here's what he said. This is how the events went down at the meeting. The title of the letter is The Secret Meeting That Changed Rap Music and Destroyed a Generation. So he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted. This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people being there, most of them familiar faces. We joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a f***ing joke?" At this point, things became chaotic. Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague who opened the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly or even those who attended the meeting. I asked him why was he involved with something so corrupt, and he replied, "It's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences." As we walked back into the house, I remember word for word the last thing he said, "It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property. Now, after reading all this, it actually made me feel a few different ways. The first emotion I felt was shocked, because I was definitely taken back by this, just knowing the level of evil that's involved by even thinking of a plan like this. You know what I'm saying? The second emotion I felt was anger. Anger because it's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it. Because let's keep it real, the industry has never been favorable towards the artists. Never. But they're going to go beyond the artists to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities. In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison. So they're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists. So they making a killing.
A killing.
They're using the music business to promote their private prison business.
Okay, that has to be so low down and nefarious, like he said, for anyone to hatch such a plan and scheme. And it's basically nothing more than slavery. Slavery going where? Now they have private prisons where they make money off of slave labor. Isn't that still slavery? And using our own people to help promote it and to get them people. And here's the thing. Do you all remember a few years ago, I reported to you how there were people who were suing. They said they wanted to sue because the private prisons weren't full enough as far as they were concerned. This is also nefarious. Still slaves at the end of the day. But we can't get reparations. Well, no, they're not going to give you reparations because then they'd have to admit that they had slavery and that it was wrong. And then when we have people who wake up and realize that there still is slavery, because many people don't even know or don't even realize that, they can't grasp it. So then when people years from now, some of their children and grandchildren realize that there was still slavery going on in 2024, and they called it human trafficking, and they called it private prisons, and then they want reparations. Well, then they'll have to pay that too. So no, they don't want to give you reparations for a myriad of reasons. A myriad of reasons. This is also nefarious. Please pay attention. Now, I'm going to show a couple more receipts and then I'm out of here. We'll have to get into part 3 tomorrow because these receipts are never ending, is all I'm telling you. Now, there was a video of Tupac talking about masculinity. And see, that's another thing. The very masculine black man is a threat. How many times have I told you all that? That's why they invented terms like toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity. Well, to me, the definition of toxic masculinity is people. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want problems with Screw too. But I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of someone who has toxic masculinity. I'm going to show you the picture of them, of this person. Hold on. You all remember when I did that panel? It was me, Lisa Cabrera, and some other people. And there was this person just going in on us. I mean, they were letting us women have it. You all remember that? Now, to me, that person is the definition of toxic masculinity. Here they go right here. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Hold on. Let me find something appropriate that I can literally show because here they go right here. Here's a picture and the definition, in my belief and opinion, of toxic masculinity. Sorry, wrong share. Okay, I can't share that because I just saw them doing something inappropriate. But anyway, my point is Cherry D Boom or Cherry D Boom. Cherry D Boom has toxic masculinity to me. Has very much toxic masculinity to me. Okay? Goes in on people, goes off, talks real crazy, and says all this foolish stuff that makes no sense. Goes in on women who they call, this person calls cisgender women, going in on us and saying that we're hating on them. And what reason are we hating on you for? Just dogs us all out. That's toxic masculinity as far as I'm concerned. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, make it all make sense. Ray said, throughout time, we know who is toxic masculinity. Yes. People in the Klan. Okay? The Proud Boys. That's toxic masculinity. All right, going around here worried about the wrong thing, worried about people that haven't done anything to you and never even think about you until you do something to them. That's toxic. Donald Trump has toxic masculinity, allegedly, says Frenzy. Okay? Red said George Washington had toxic masculinity. Right, exactly. Notorious Hebrew says, I'd have freed 1,000 slaves. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. Harry Tubman. Exactly. It's also sad. Okay, so anyway, if that all been said, let me go to this clip of Tupac. And then I'm rolling up out of here. And I'll be uploading some stuff on the backup channel, like I said.
And then I believe that, just like with the yin and yang, there's a masculine and feminine. I believe in that in a relationship. Right. I believe that most of our problems as black people, and as people in general, is that we've forgotten our roles. The men have forgotten their roles as men. Therefore, the women have forgotten their roles. And that's where we get all this duplicity in lovemaking and duplicity in sexuality, is because we've forgotten our roles and we're willing to settle for less. Not that they're not legitimate people who really do like this style, but a lot of it right now is just, this niggas ain't shit. So I want some pussy. You know what I mean? And the niggas just being like, these black bitches ain't shit, or these white bitches ain't shit.
Okay, so that all been said, gender wars. That's what he was talking about back then. Now, we didn't call it that at the time, but that's clearly what was being promoted. And that is still what's being promoted. You see how they have black women like Cynthia G always talking down on the black man, and then you have these ignorant black men like Thomas Sotomayor. Okay, always talking about black women. This is what's promoted now. Yeah, because everybody everybody is just at each other's throats. Now, we already have all these outside forces against us. Why would we have all this infighting amongst ourselves? Please make that sense. Tupac was also prophetic because remember he said this. Remember in the song, Keep Your Head Up? Remember that song, Keep Your Head Up? That was a song to uplift black women. And then Tupac said in that song, he said, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies. That make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. I want y'all to pay attention. Tupac was ahead of his time. Tupac was ahead of his time. And since a man can't make one, he has no business telling a woman when and where to create one. Okay, with Roe versus Wade and all of that stuff. And then a race of babies that will hate the ladies who make the babies. Well, that's what we have. We have many of these black men who hate black women. And they use us as their excuse for why they date outside of their race. Oh, they're just angry black women. Let me tell you something. Somebody said that at the show last night, the Tasha K show. When Tasha was on stage, someone said something. This guy, he was there with his woman. She was sitting all on his lap at first and all of that. But then he said something. He kept blurting out stuff, random stuff during the show. And she was clearly pressed about it. But then when he said, oh, that's because y'all are angry black women. When he said that, she got up and walked out. She got up and walked out. And then he was sitting there. And then everybody's like, you're not going to go get her? And she's gone. And then he's like, oh, no, she went to the restroom. They're like, no, she's going. And so he went to go check on her, and neither of them came back because she was done at that point. So you have these men who want to say angry black women. Even though I think they got last night, I think he was maybe joking. But my point is, Prime One says we got to work together. Yes. But at the end of the day, how are we going to do that when we have so many of our people saying foolish things about the others? Men, a lot of black men now feel like all of these black women just want money. There are some that just want money. They feel like they don't have to bring anything to the table except themselves, who have nothing else to offer. That's what a lot of these women think. It's the one you see online talking about, oh, I don't want to eat at the Cheesecake Factory. The ones who think that a man that doesn't even know them like that simply take them out on a date for a meal is supposed to buy meals for all of their kids at home. Where are the children's fathers? They can't buy them food. They don't have grocery money for you. You want to get mad at them because they just took you out on a date and because they don't want to buy extra because they don't know you like that. But you're not concerned that the fathers of your children haven't given you money to buy groceries, ma'am. So this is the kind of things you see with some of these women. And then some black men look at all of us as if we all do the same thing, which is idiotic because everyone's not the same. And then you have these black women who get mad because they see black men mistreating other black women out here lying and cheating and doing all sorts of things, dating outside of the races and putting down black women. And then they think that all black men are doing this, which is absolutely ridiculous because all black men are not. But at the end of the day, isn't this what we have? We have a race of babies that hate the ladies who make the babies. And we have men who can't create one trying to tell women when they can and should. Yeah. He was very prophetic. Please pay attention. Okay, so with that all being said, yes, Donna Sheriff says T.S. Madison has toxic masculinity. Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Okay? Oh, so crazy. Oh, so crazy. Above all, that drum said Jackpot Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right. So with that all being said, everyone please enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. All right. Now I will see you all tomorrow on your next morning wake-up call. Until then, beloveds, everyone enjoy the rest of this day and each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. And don't forget, I'll be uploading stuff on the backup channel periodically throughout the day. Okay, so please be sure to look for those.
hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got